Hey everybody, good morning. Today is our first full day in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm on a trip with a couple of friends of mine, and we started out with a breakfast buffet in our hotel. The food was absolutely delicious. After we ate, we got ready to head out on foot for a full day of adventures. And I'm going to tell you, this is a full day. At the end of the day, per my friend's Apple Watch, we had walked around 16 miles. We saw a lot of things, and I'm excited to take you along for the adventures. Our hotel is called the Skansen, and it is located in Norrmalm. We are headed over towards Djurgården and the Skansen Open Air Museum. I think it was about a 2-mile walk, but we took it leisurely because we knew most of the things we wanted to see would not be open until 10 a.m. anyway, and we just wanted to enjoy a nice leisurely walk. As you can see, a light layer of snow fell overnight, and we were all really excited about that. All three of us are from Florida. Unfortunately, this is a museum we never had time to visit. It's called the Nordic Museum, and it's full of exhibitions on the history of Nordic and Scandinavian life. This blue gate is the entrance to Djurgården, which is a present-day reminder of the hunting era that existed in Djurgården in the 1840s. This is considered one of the most beautiful city parks in the world. My friend wanted to walk around for a while and use this app on her phone that will help her identify birds and plants, either by a photo or by the call that the bird makes. So we had a really good time stalking down plants and birds to get an identification and to find out what they're called in another country. Some of the birds we have seen before or seen similar birds in the U.S. Many of them we'd never seen before. This sign is letting you know that this sandy, shady area was made famous during the summer of 1897 when 16th century Stockholm was recreated in miniature, including the Tre Kronor Palace and the Stockholm Cathedral. The exhibition was opened by King Oscar II to showcase modern Sweden. The opening ceremony was immortalized in one of the country's first films, and the king's speech was recorded on phonograph. This statue is called the Statue of the Lady Working for Peace in the World. It was commissioned by the Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War in Sweden and was erected in 2016. By now, it was almost 10 o'clock in the morning, and we knew the Skansen Living History Museum would now be open, so we started to make our way back that direction. On our walk back towards the Skansen Open Air Museum, we came across this gigantic hollow tree. I guess I've already told you, but I kind of have a thing for what I call spooky old trees. They remind me of a childhood favorite book that I used to read called The Spooky Old Tree. And I really wanted to show you what this tree looked like inside because I could not resist jumping up inside it myself. We arrived at the Skansen Open Air Museum just a couple of minutes before they opened. And once we bought our tickets and started to walk inside, we quickly realized that this is the type of museum that could easily take the entire day from open till close. It was way bigger than we expected, but absolutely awesome. And unfortunately, we realized quickly we were going to have to choose our favorite things that we wanted to see and hit the high spots, and we definitely were not going to have time to see it all. That's unfortunate, but I can tell you I will definitely go back anytime I'm in Stockholm. crow's doing crow things. Oh, he's got a big piece of ice. Did you see that? You broke it. We were in Sweden shortly before Christmas, and it turns out the Skansen open air market will do a little Christmas light show that you can walk through in the evenings. I got very excited about this and planned to come back since my friends were going to the hockey game tonight. Over here in the distance, you might see some roller coasters. That is Gröna Lund, which is a Swedish amusement park with lots of different types of rides. Unfortunately, it was closed in the wintertime when we were visiting, so we didn't get to go. Also included with your ticket to get into the Skansen open air market is admission to their aquarium, which is all different types of animals from the Baltic Sea. Unfortunately, we didn't have any more time that we could spend at the Skansen open air market. We were on a time crunch because my friends had a hockey game tonight, so we decided to head over towards an area where there are more museums because we all wanted to see the Vasa Museum. Here's a sneak peek at it. You can see the mast that would hang the sails is actually sticking out of the top of the museum. The Vasa Museum had been something that was on all three of our lists of things that we really wanted to do and couldn't miss while we were in Stockholm. So I was expecting to like it, but I was not expecting to be so amazed by it. I actually took quite a lot of footage inside the museum, and I'm going to put most of it in a separate video and talk about the entire history of this ship and exactly what happened. but I do want to include some of this footage in this vlog and tell you just a little bit about the Vasa. The Vasa Museum opened in 1990, and according to their website, it is still the most visited museum in Scandinavia. This museum displays the only almost fully intact 17th century warship that has ever been salvaged, the 64-gun warship Vasa that sank on her maiden voyage in 1628. The ship sank after sailing roughly 1,400 yards and fell into obscurity after most of her valuable bronze cannons were salvaged in the 17th century. It was located again in the 1950s in a busy shipping area in the Stockholm harbor. The ship was salvaged with a largely intact hull in 1961. The Vasa was built on the orders of the King of Sweden, Gustavus Adolphus, as part of the military expansion he initiated in a war with Poland-Lithuania. The Vasa was constructed at the Navy Yard in Stockholm under a contract with private entrepreneurs and armed primarily with bronze cannons cast in Stockholm specifically for this ship. Richly decorated as a symbol of the king's ambitions for Sweden and for himself, upon completion, she was one of the most powerfully armed vessels in the world. However, the Vasa was dangerously unstable with too much weight in the upper structures of the hull. Despite this lack of stability, she was ordered to sea and foundered only a few minutes after encountering a wind stronger than a breeze. I thoroughly enjoyed my trip to the Vasa Museum, so much more than I thought that I would, and I'm still reading and learning more about it every day. I plan to do an entire video just dedicated to this ship, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. At this point, we decided we were ready to head back to find something to eat or snack on maybe. We also thought we might do some shopping, and we all wanted to go to the area of Gamlestan, which was about a 1.5 mile walk, but that's where we were last night, and we really enjoyed that area, so that's where we headed next. Here is a better look at the statue I showed you in yesterday's vlog called St. George and the Dragon. This is located in Gamlestan and was unveiled in October of 1912, marking the anniversary of the Battle of Brukenberg. It is a bronze replica of a wooden structure known as St. George and the Dragon. My friend had heard about this online. It is the narrowest stairway in the city, and she wanted to check it out. Man, it is tight. It's a stairway that leads you between two different streets, and it makes for a great photo op. We went to this little cafe to get a warm drink and a snack. It was pretty busy inside, so I didn't film much, but I did think this is really cool. They ask people to write reviews and then they hang them from the ceiling. So we really enjoyed sitting there reading through all the different countries people have come to visit from and what they had to say. I had heard about this bookstore on almost every vlog and page that I pulled up looking for things for tourists to do in Gamlestan. It's an entire bookstore dedicated to science fiction and nerdy stuff, so we had to go in there and check it out. It was really, really cool. The section of Harry Potter merch was huge, and I'm here looking around for a souvenir for Michael. He's a big Potterhead and really enjoys reading the books. I didn't really see anything, though, that jumped out at me as something Michael would love. The only thing I actually ended up buying for him was one of the chocolate frogs. I know you can get these in Universal where we live, but the packaging was slightly different, so I thought maybe, just maybe, the ingredients would be different and he might enjoy it. He's never tried a chocolate frog anyway, so It was something to add to the pile of Swedish candy that I'm going to take home for him and do a taste test. Just in case anyone is wondering, Michael is definitely a Gryffindor and I am a Hufflepuff. This is the last place we went as a group before my friends left to go to the hockey game. We misunderstood where we were. We thought we were in the Medieval Museum and we were excited to see a bunch of medieval history, but it turns out we had mistranslated and we were actually in the Mediterranean Museum, dedicated to artifacts from all the Mediterranean countries. So that was a bit of an oops on our part. I don't want to knock on this museum. It's pretty small and it's cute, reasonably priced, and everything is beautifully displayed. It's just, we had all three been to New York City. We've seen the Natural History Museum, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, etc. So we had sort of seen this type of thing before. But if you never have, this is a great little museum. I highly recommend. And currently they have a very large Egyptian display of mummy artifacts and things they have found in pyramids. So would recommend if you've never seen this kind of thing before. At this point, my two friends left to go to the hockey game, and I decided to walk all the way back over to Djurgården because I wanted to see the Christmas display at the Skansen open air market. Hey, my friends are at the game, so I thought I would get on here and talk. I'm very cold. I walked all the way back to the Skansen open air market because I thought my ticket from earlier would get me into the Christmas lights event, but it turns out you have to buy a separate ticket for that. And the lady told me it would be $290, and stupid me, I thought she meant $290 US, and I was like, oh, thank you so much, but I'll pass. It was 290 kroner. My bad. I only realized it when I got like a mile away, so I'm actually hungry, so I'm gonna go try to find something to eat. So much for the Christmas market. I kind of stumbled upon this place. I think it's called Aifur, A-I-F-U-R, and boy, what a cool find this is.